All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're unpacking the data, the tactics, and the sheer uphill battle behind Argentina's quest to do the impossible at the 2026 World Cup. Albiceleste aren't just arriving in North America as the defending champions, they are arriving with the absolute weight of history on their shoulders, and they're doing it with a 38-year-old Lionel Messi leading the charge. Let's explore the evidence and the hard numbers to see if ultimate footballing immortality is actually within their grasp. So here's the roadmap for what we're looking at today. We're going to break down a crazy 64-year curse, look into Lionel Scaloni's tactical evolution, examine the squad alongside a really alarming injury list, and finally, give you the data-backed verdict on Group J. Let's kick things off by establishing the monumental, almost mythical stakes facing Argentina before they even set a single foot on the pitch.
And the crucial point here, it's this staggering number right here, 64. Seriously. It has been 64 years since any nation successfully defended a World Cup title. You literally have to rewind all the way back to Brazil in 1962, we're talking the Pelé era, to find a team that went back-to-back. That means for over 6 decades, every single reigning champion has ultimately fallen short.
When we look back at Argentina's incredibly rich La Nuestra pedigree, they've got 3 brilliant, completely stylistically unique World Cup wins. You had Menotti's possession-based brilliance at home in '78, then in '86, Gallardo's tactics set the stage for Maradona's unmatched individual genius. And of course, in 2022, Scaloni built a collective resilience that finally freed Lionel Messi in Qatar. But here's the catch. Despite this incredible lineage, none of these legendary Argentine squads have ever managed to defend their crown.
So why exactly is this curse a real thing? Well, history shows us that defending champions arrive carrying a ton of extra baggage. Squads naturally age. That raw, desperate hunger to win your first title, it often fades. And maybe most importantly, opponents have spent 4 whole years dissecting your tactics. We've seen heavyweights like France, Germany, and Spain all fall victim to this exact trap in recent decades. This is the historical gravity Argentina is fighting against. Which brings us to the architect himself, Lionel Scaloni, and how he's radically evolving his blueprint to try and break this historical curse. This is where we see a massive shift. Look, in 2022, the system was heavily dependent on Messi. It was practically built from the ground up to channel the attack through him. But Scaloni is a realist. He knew that model simply wouldn't work for a 38-year-old captain. So for 2026, he's designed a system built on midfield autonomy. The team no longer relies on Messi to run the engine room. They dominate possession independently, which lets Messi conserve his energy for just those few decisive, high-impact actions per game. This autonomy is powered by their preferred 4-3-3 shape. By leaning on the relentless engine of Alexis Mac Allister, Enzo Fernández, and Rodrigo De Paul, Scaloni secures 3 absolutely crucial things: rigorous defensive coverage to protect the backline, incredible structural balance against the counterattack, and progressive play through a really patient, rhythmic passing style. This trio does the heavy lifting, allowing Messi to operate almost as a floating creative director. All right, let's turn our attention to the arsenal, the actual players tasked with executing this autonomous, high-control system. Get this, 17 players from the 2022 championship squad are returning. 17! Think about that for a second. No other defending champion in the modern era has retained such a high proportion of their title-winning roster. This gives Argentina this massive, unspoken psychological advantage. They have a shared identity forged in the fires of World Cup and Copa America finals. They simply know how to win together.
Up front, they're honestly spoiled with a generational striker duo, and they complement each other perfectly. On one hand, you have Lautaro Martínez, your classic clinical number 9 with incredibly sharp movement in the box. On the other, you have Julián Álvarez, this highly dynamic, super smart pressing forward. Having both of these world-class options takes an immense scoring and physical load off their aging captain.
But, it's not all seamless transitions. There's a glaring issue, and it's the Ángel Di María void. With him retiring in 2024, he leaves behind this massive tactical hole on the left wing. Replacing his big game experience and just flawless delivery remains one of Scaloni's most pressing, unsolved puzzles, and opponents will undoubtedly try to exploit that.
And speaking of things opponents want to exploit, we really need to look at the vulnerabilities and the very real injury risks threatening this team. You see, the entire narrative has flipped. 4 years ago, everyone was asking, can they win it for Messi? Today, the burning question is, can the system sustain a 38-year-old Messi long enough to win it?
Managing his physical load across a grueling 7-game tournament is literally the single most significant vulnerability Argentina faces right now.
Compounding that age factor is a genuinely overwhelming wave of pre-tournament injuries, hitting nearly every critical layer of the squad's spine. We're talking about Messi managing hamstring inflammation, star goalkeeper Emi Martínez dealing with a finger fracture, defensive anchor Cristian Romero recovering from an MCL sprain, Alvarez with an ankle issue, and both primary right backs, Molina and Montiel, suffering muscle tears. Going into a tournament with this battered of a core is a massive red flag. Tactically speaking, their greatest weakness is their high defensive line. When Argentina pushes up, they leave a lot of space behind their advancing fullbacks. If you remember the 2022 final, Kylian Mbappe ruthlessly exploited this exact space in transition. You better believe elite European teams with blistering pace will be watching the tape and setting up to target those exact vulnerable pockets.
Okay, let's wrap this all up by mapping out the battlefield of Group J and delivering the data-backed probability of their success. Just looking at the group, the talent gap is pretty undeniable. Argentina, ranked 3rd globally, are the massive favorites. Austria brings intense, organized European pressing, while Algeria poses a real technical and counterattacking threat. Then you have Jordan coming in as the debutant underdogs. While Austria and Algeria will definitely test Scaloni's tactics early on, the data strongly suggest Argentina should comfortably dominate this group. So, what's the final analytical verdict? Well, the data projections show that defending the title outright is sitting at a difficult 15% probability. And that makes sense. It directly reflects that 64-year curse and the physical toll of an aging core. However, reaching the semifinals, that sits at a highly probable 40%. They simply have too much muscle memory, depth, and big game experience to bow out early. Which leaves us with this one massive final thought. Can Scaloni's evolved machine actually sustain Lionel Messi long enough to defy 64 years of history and secure ultimate footballing immortality? Look, the injuries are real, and the target on their back is massive. But if that midfield holds its structural integrity, and if those injuries heal just in time, we might just be about to witness the greatest back-to-back triumph in modern football history. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and keep your eyes on how Scaloni manages those crucial early group stage minutes.